Hello, I'd just like to tell you about Brenda. Yes, that's Brenda Martin that I'm speaking about. A rather sad story, and I think anyone with any compassion can't help but feel very disturbed about what's been going on in her life over the last 2+ years. She is a young lady that is really suffering a great deal at the hands of the Mexican justice system. But where does this story begin? Well, this story begins with Brenda being raised in Trenton, Ontario, and then going off to be a cook, to make a living, to have a little fun, to be, as her mother says, a butterfly. And so a butterfly was attracted to Mexico. And when in Mexico, she decided that, of course, she couldn't simply just be there on her own without some means of support. So she went out and was looking for a job. Then she came across a Canadian who in fact appeared to be a very wealthy Canadian, obviously English speaking. It looked like a great opportunity because this individual was looking for a cook and also for someone to look after his mother. Brenda applied for the job and got the job. And she was being paid $500 a week for, as I say, cooking and looking after the gentleman's mother. But as time went on, things didn't go particularly well. And Brenda and the mother didn't get along very well. And as it turned out, the mother finally said to her son, "You have to get rid of Brenda." And when her boss, Alan Wage, decided to comply with his mother's demands, he in fact let Brenda go and paid her a severance of $26,000. Now Brenda was obviously not happy about being dismissed, but still saw Mr. Wage as a man of some means, and he obviously had a very successful business ongoing. So she invested $10,000 in his business as she left, and ultimately that money was returned to her. At the time, she didn't know exactly why, but as it turns out, in the broader picture, Mr. Wage was a fraud artist. He was a person who was running a Ponzi scheme. And it was really a very successful Ponzi scheme. As it turns out, something in the order of 15,000 to 17,000 people were defrauded of $60 million throughout North America and beyond. But one of the interesting facts was that Mr. Wage, in order to protect himself, made sure that no one with a Mexican address was able to invest in his fund. And if he found someone who had, he returned the money. So therefore, that was why the money went back to Brenda. So we have two dollar amounts. First, her severance of $26,000 and also her investment in her boss's fund. As we sort of pick up the story, it is sort of picked up about 4.5 years later when Brenda receives a call from someone wanting to take advantage of her catering business, which she had set up from her monies that she'd received, that severance. And in so doing, she thought these were just ordinary people coming to get her. But as it turned out, they were not ordinary people coming to meet with her. They were in fact federales, as she says, in other words, the police, who in fact came, took her, as she says, they kidnapped her and took her to the jail where in fact she gave some statements. She thinking the statements were being given with respect to Mr. Wage, who now had been captured and was being prosecuted in the United States, and didn't really think twice about it. And they said they would return her first thing the next day. Well, that was on the 17th of February, 2006. And as of today, she's still there. No trial, but charged. And what is she charged with? Being a member of a criminal organization and money laundering. Donate today to www.savebrendafund.ca.